Hey everyone, it's Mallory here with All About Cats. In today's video, we're going to be taking a closer look at one of the most popular automatic or self-cleaning litter boxes on the market. It's the PetSafe ScoopFree. So this is an automatic litter box that combines the low maintenance nature of silica gel litter with a really simple raking mechanism. So it automatically rakes through the litter and allows you to go without scooping for up to 30 days. I've been using the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box for the last couple of months on and off, so I've gotten some firsthand experience and I'm going to be telling you all about its performance and operation and what my cats thought of it. So stay tuned until the end of the video to get my final thoughts on the PetSafe ScoopFree and whether or not I think it's worth the money. So first off, let's take a look at what you get when you purchase a PetSafe ScoopFree automatic litter box. So inside of the box, you get everything that you need to get started with the PetSafe ScoopFree. You get the main raking unit, the body of the litter box, you get a litter tray, and you get a bag of litter. You're also going to get an AC adapter with a 10-foot cord that's going to allow you to plug the unit into the wall outlet. I found that the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box was pretty easy to set up. All you're going to have to do is put the litter from the bag into the tray and then use a marker to write down the date, and if you have a good estimate of how long the litter tray is going to last for you, the day when you think that you're going to need to change out the litter box, and then you're going to put the raking unit on top of that tray. So the waste trap cover is going to attach to the plastic door on the top with magnets, and I found that it was really easy to get the magnets lined up. Everything just kind of snapped together. There wasn't a lot of fiddling with the different parts to get everything lined up. It was all very, very straightforward. And from there, you're ready to start using the litter box. So this litter box has a sensor that detects when your cat has entered the litter box, and then a delay timer that causes the litter box to wait for 20 minutes before starting the raking mechanism moving across the litter box. So this 20-minute delay gives the litter some time to do some adsorption, and it also gives your cat some time to get out of the litter box. Of course, if your cat gets back into the litter box, the sensor will detect that and then give it another 20 minutes to make sure that your cat isn't startled or somehow harmed by the rake moving across the litter bed. So again, the rake just moves across the litter, pulls any solid waste into this little waste receptacle, and then closes the door back over it, sealing it away. As the rake moves through the litter, it kind of sifts things around and distributes any liquids, ensuring that they all become absorbed by the silica gel litter. So overall, it's a very, very simple mechanism, and I found that it worked quite well. Over the last couple of months that I've had the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box, I haven't noticed any jamming or malfunctions. Everything just worked really smoothly. I also noticed that the litter box works very, very quietly. I almost never noticed that it was working. The only indication that it actually was working was that it was filling up, that the waste receptacle was indeed kind of filling up with some solid waste. But other than that, I barely noticed that it was working. I only heard it a couple of times. It has a very, very quiet hum, and the raking process takes just over a minute, so it's very quick and very quiet. So the litter that comes with the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box is quite good at controlling odors, until it's not. So until the litter reaches its saturation threshold, it's going to do a very, very good job of controlling odors. But after that point, the odor is going to be really bad. And that's common among silica gel litters. So for me, using the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box with 2 cats sharing one box, the litter lasted for between a week and 9 days. That's a little bit less than what PetSafe promises. So the litter box is supposed to last 1 cat for between 20 and 30 days, depending on their output. It's supposed to last 2 cats between 10 and 15 days, and then if you have 3 cats, it's going to last around a week. So again, I found that it was getting saturated a little bit more quickly than promised. So in addition to making sure that you're changing out the litter frequently enough to avoid it reaching that saturation threshold, you're going to have to maintain the litter box itself. So I noticed that after about a week or so, there would be some buildup on the rake. So you're going to have to wipe that down, and then there might be some waste building up around the sides of the litter box. I also noticed that the rake wasn't able to capture all of the feces, and so there would be little fragments hanging out in the litter box. But then again, this type of litter does a really good job of controlling odors, so those little fragments didn't seem to produce a lot of smell. The main odor issue was occurring again once the litter had reached its saturation threshold. The next thing that I looked at when I was testing out the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box was tracking and scatter. So I was very impressed by the litter box and its litter in this department. The litter doesn't really seem to stick to cats' paws very much, and there was very, very little tracking. There was also very little scatter. I found that the litter area was probably the cleanest that it's ever been, short of using like a top entry litter box. The area was just very, very clean and tidy. And after the litter is reaching a point where it's starting to smell a little bit worse, it's going to be time to dispose of your litter tray. So this process is pretty easy. You're just going to have to lift off the raking unit and move it to the side, and then move the bottom tray over onto the top and kind of close it like a little box filled with cat litter, and then you can just throw it away. I would say that throwing away the litter from the PetSafe ScoopFree was significantly easier than throwing out an entire litter box full of heavy used clay cat litter. So I've talked quite a bit about what I thought of the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box, but what about my cats? They were the ones who were actually using it. So I found that my cats used the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box right away. I don't think that they had any issues with using a relatively coarse silica gel litter, though I know a lot of cats probably would. They also didn't seem put off by the size of the litter box, although I would generally say that it's too small. Now, don't get me wrong, the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box actually has a really large footprint. So it measures 27 inches long by 19 inches wide by 7 inches deep. So it's a pretty big litter box. But the litter tray, the litter bed that your cat is actually going to be using, only measures 14 inches by 14 inches. So that's a pretty small space for a cat to be using as their litter box. It's also pretty shallow, and your cat isn't going to have a lot of litter to dig in, which could also be kind of unsatisfying. Now, how much does all of this cost? So if you opt for the original ScoopFree litter box, the uncovered version with no bells and whistles, it's going to cost $144.99 currently. If you want a little bit of an upgrade and you opt for the PetSafe ScoopFree Ultra, which comes with a hood and has a use counter as well as giving you the option to schedule cleanings, that price is going to go up to $174.99. For the same price, you can also get a top entry version, which also comes with those bells and whistles like the use counter and the customizable cleaning times. So obviously the PetSafe ScoopFree is going to cost a bit more upfront than a traditional litter box. It's also going to cost a little bit more over time. And I think that's where the PetSafe ScoopFree really becomes expensive. So over time, you're going to buy quite a lot of disposable litter trays to put into the ScoopFree litter box. So if you have one cat and you're using one tray a month, that's going to cost about $15 a month. But if my experience is representative of the norm, you're going to end up spending more than that. So if you're using, let's say, an average of 1.5 boxes per month, that's going to be over $20 a month. And if you're like me and you have 2 cats and you're changing out the litter every 10 days or so, that's going to add up to as much as $45 a month, which is pretty expensive. Now, you can get your costs down a little bit by investing about $50 in the reusable tray. So instead of using these disposable cardboard trays, you get a reusable tray, and then you can fill it up with the litter of your choice. So overall, I think that the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box could be an excellent option if you want to spend significantly less time cleaning the litter box. Compared to other automatic litter boxes, which very often tend to malfunction and clog and have a lot of problems, the PetSafe ScoopFree is quiet, quick, and really reliable. The litter offers good odor control, it's pretty low dust, and overall just performs quite well. That being said, the litter doesn't seem to last quite as long as I think it should, and it certainly doesn't seem to last quite as long as PetSafe promises it does. What that means is that it's going to cost significantly more than a lot of other products. So, especially if you have multiple cats, this might not be the most budget-friendly option. So if you're interested in giving the PetSafe ScoopFree litter box a try for yourself and seeing what your cats think of it, you can check out our description. There you'll find a link to a listing for the litter box on Chewy. Alright, so that's about it for our review of the PetSafe ScoopFree automatic cat litter box. I hope that this video helped you to get a better understanding of how this litter box works and what cats really think of it, and helps you to make a decision on whether or not this could be a good choice for your cats in your home. If you found this video helpful and are interested in similar product reviews, buyer's guides, and information on all things cats, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you will receive the news every time you release a new video. Alright, thank you for watching. Bye.